Hello there, everyone. My name is Aaron Burr, and welcome to the We All Can Change podcast, where I help others heal this planet to live a more fulfilled and healthier life. I do all this in a pretty non extreme and not too serious way. Seriously. Today I'm talking about brands. I'll be digging into things like consumerism, minimalism, brand sustainability, some resources that you can use to investigate companies that you support. I'll be talking about quality over quantity, and that's pretty much it, I think. Let's dive in. There are obvious things that impact the planet, like trash, our waste, air pollution, water pollution. We can see all these things happening. We can see trash floating in the river or the lake or the oceans. We can see a forest being cut down to make way for more houses or a shopping mall. We can see these things happening. We can't really see how a business or a company impacts the planet. We don't really know where our money is going to, or at least we don't know easily. So that's what I'm talking about today is where our money goes and how things are affected. Everything we buy requires water, energy, land, resources like petroleum, cotton, whatever the material's made out of. Even if we're buying an online service of some sort that really doesn't have a product, that will require energy, storage, land use, etc. And these companies can choose to be more or less sustainable. They can choose to run their business on more renewable energy. They can choose to use more organic, less impactful products and materials. And so it's kind of up to us to support or not support certain industries or certain products or certain companies. We can be buying the same exact product, and depending on the company that we are supporting, the impact can be way different. Yeah, the footprint can be way different of that product. It all depends on how the company is run and how they're doing business, basically. So now that we know that the things we buy, the brands we own, have an impact, how do we change those things? Well, I look at it in two ways. One is our consumption level. Two is our knowledge of the company and the company that we support. So looking into how they're being run. I'll start with consumerism. I don't think that consumption is the problem. We'll always need things in our lives, right? We'll always need clothes, water, food, a place to live, whether that be a house or a tent or a cave. We'll need these basic things, and then some. We'll need a car to drive. A lot of us do. We'll need other things, right? We'll consume things. I don't think that's the issue. I think that overconsumption is the issue. And so while consumerism has been given a bad word, has been given a bad name, bad word. It's really just the overconsumption that's the problem. We've turned to things to make us happy, right? We've thought that a big house, name brand clothes, fancy cars, they're going to make us happy and more fulfilled. And when we get those things, it'll be all perfect. When in reality, most, if not all, people that are rich and that have had the opportunity or have had those things, they realize, and they'll often tell us that those aren't what really matter. Once they've had them, they realize that experiences, family, friends, these important things in our lives actually matter instead of the other things. Things and things and things. So, consumption level. If you are looking to reduce your footprint related to companies and brands and things, I would say declutter. Focus on what matters in your life. most of what the overconsumption comes from is to fill a void in our life. We have some sort of hole that we're trying to fill, whether it's from family, friends, past failures, past traumas. We're trying to cover those up, fill those up to protect us. And consumption and things are an easy thing to turn to, especially when we are bombarded with 1,000 advertisements a day. It's easy, right? We've been seeing these things all day. It's like, yeah, maybe that will help me out. Maybe it will cure my depression or make me forget about this other stuff. So focus on what matters. Declutter. And if you're looking to do that, I would recommend turning to the minimalists. They are responsible for a lot of major changes that I've had in my life. And I've incorporated actually some of their philosophies and whatnot in We All Can Change. So yeah, definitely turn to them. They've created something called the 30-day challenge, where every day they get rid of more and more stuff if you want to join. So I think the first day starts with one thing, second day is two things, third day is getting rid of three things, and so forth. So it's just a decluttering challenge. They also have a packing party, which is basically acting like you're moving. So you pack everything up into boxes, every single thing that you own. And every time you need to use that thing, you can unpack it and start to use it, but then everything else stays in the box. And I don't know how long you do that for. I mean, you maybe do that for like a month or something, or I don't know how long. You can look it up. I'll link it below in the show notes. And so, I mean, you end up with all these boxes of things that you're really not using and that are really not adding value to your life. They're just kind of heavy weight, and they're cluttering up your home and your life, and they take up brain space and creative space. And so, yeah, pretty cool. They are definitely a great resource to turn to. And they're not just about things. They're not just about getting rid of stuff. That's like the very first part. And then after that, it's like way, way deeper than that. I mean, they dig into values and just trying to live a more fulfilled life in line with our values. That's kind of the part that I kind of took from them to focus on We All Can Change. It's kind of aligning our environmental values in our lives to make us more fulfilled, basically. So I kind of honed in on one specific value where they're kind of talking about just living in line with all our values and beliefs and whatnot to live more fulfilled and therefore happier lives. Right. So yeah, definitely check them out. Consumerism, that's it. Declutter, focus on what matters. I mean, yeah, that's all I got to say. Second part is the companies that we are looking into. So in the past, a few companies were coincidentally sustainable, right? They would make quality products in a seemingly sustainable way because it saved money and it made sense, right? There was a few companies like that, but most companies weren't very sustainable, haven't been very transparent because we didn't really ask for that. And so why would they be? Why would they share their impacts on the planet? Why would they share their waste? And why would they share how much money they're wasting, right? Because sustainability inevitably is also about economics too. So that hasn't been the trend, but the trend is changing. People are looking into these things and they're demanding transparency. So they want brands to be in line with their values, right? We want these things to make sense that we have them. We don't want just these. Well, there's a lot of people out there, including me in the past, that would just buy things because they're cool. And to this day, I still do that a little bit. It's kind of just what's popular or what's a status symbol. And I think that goes back to the consumption aspect, right? If we turn to things to make us happy, then yeah, we're going to be buying more status symbol stuff, right? So So things are starting to change. We're starting to look into companies and see, hey, does this align with what I believe in? Are they running things correctly? Are they running things sustainable enough for me? I mean, the things we own don't resemble who we are. It doesn't make us who we are. But I think there should be a good feeling about the things that we're buying. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the things that we're buying, the stuff we own, we shouldn't feel guilty about it. And I mean, part of that is once we start to learn what these companies' impacts are, then we'll start to have those emotions and those feelings towards it. And yeah, we shouldn't feel guilty. We should just, I guess, support companies that we don't feel guilty about, basically. Yeah. I mean, it feels better knowing that we are supporting something that's giving back to the planet or is running things in a sustainable way while also creating a very high quality product that we enjoy and that adds value to our life. Doesn't necessarily make us happy, but it contributes to those things and it enhances the experiences that we have, right? That's really what stuff and things and companies are supposed to do. It's supposed to enhance the experiences that matter. It's not supposed to lead us directly to happiness, whatever that word means. Happiness. A word that's used a lot, but few can define. Yeah, so some companies are doing a lot for how sustainable they are. Some are doing very little. Yeah, and to figure that out, it's kind of tough. I mean, there's a lot of companies that are buying into sustainability where they are definitely marketing sustainability very well, but are they really doing a whole lot is the question. I mean, we can just go on companies' websites. If they say, oh, we're sustainable, look at us, we're doing these things. I mean, it's cool, but there's a lot more to it than just a single thing that they're doing. So yeah, you can check out rankabrand.org. They're pretty good. I don't know, they're not rock solid. They don't really dig into things. They base all of their stuff on transparency within the sustainable movement, I suppose. So if things aren't on their website, if they're looking at a company like, let's say, Nike, and there isn't anything on their website about sustainability or they don't go into detail, that affects the ranking that they have. And so because they don't really dig into things, they don't do a bunch of research into these brands. It's all based on transparency and how these companies are showcasing and proving that they are sustainable. So that is a big part of it. So it's a little bit different. A part of me wants to have a more in-depth researched aspect, but this is also kind of cool because it is, at the end of the day, I mean, what we want is we want a company to be honest and true, and it should be right there, plain as day on their website, right? If they're really doing as good of things as they say, then they should put it all over on their website, right? So I'll go over some rankings. It's kind of through A is the best, and then I mean F is the worst, just like a high school paper, I guess. So I'll just go over some popular brands. There's definitely some good brands that got some great rankings, but they're just not as popular. So a lot of these brands are meh. So Nike is a letter C. They're starting to do some things like they're increasing their labor, quality of labor and everything, and they're diving into certain recycled materials, but still a C. They could do a lot better. Apple is a C. They're one of the most renewable energy based tech companies. I mean, I think they use the most renewable energy out of all. Starbucks is an E. They got a bad one because of transparency. They didn't put a whole lot on their website And so, I mean, these get updated every so often, I think every 6 months. And so that could be changed. But for now, I mean, I think that because they didn't really go into depth on their website, transparency, they get an E. Vans, shoes, they get an E. Pepsi is a D. Coca-Cola, D. H&M, C. They're kind of starting to do some things, but they have a long way to go. And a big part of what Ranker Brand said was that they're still a fast fashion company. They're still a $10 button-up shirt that that you buy and you can replace in a week because it's $10, you know, and so that's a ton of energy, resources, and water to go into a shirt just to be tossed out. And here's another one, you know, it's fast fashion. So that's a C. Under Armour is an E, again for transparency. And then Calvin Klein, D. Yeah. So that's just like some popular ones. I know they're kind of depressing, but no, some of them are doing cool things. Like Apple's definitely doing cool things. H&M is showcasing that they're doing good things. You know, that like on their stores and stuff. In their stores, they have on the walls about sustainability, I believe, and so that's pretty cool. But still fast fashion, right? So there's plenty of good rankings out there for companies. Like Patagonia got a B. VOD, which is an outdoor jacket, shoes, maybe. Yeah, outdoor technical apparel and stuff. They got an A, actually. So yeah, there's some good brands. They're just not as popular, so I didn't really share them, I guess. I'm kind of appealing to brands that you may know or have heard of. So there's plenty of good ones out there. But yeah, check that out. You can kind of look into brands and companies. There's also goodonyou.eco. That's definitely all, let's see, it's all clothing, actually. Yeah, it's all hats, shoes, pants, shirts, all those companies. It's not really, there's no Coca-Cola, Starbucks. That's Good On You is all what we wear and whatnot. So check that out too. That's a pretty cool, it's different setup and different ranking system and everything too. Sorry if I'm nasally. My nose is like plugged up. I moved to Traverse City, Michigan, and I think the dryness mixed with the cold is just like plugging my nose. I went out biking and it was like, it's like 39, 40 degrees. My body thought I was going to die. My ears were hurting and my nose was like, ah! No, it was awesome though. It felt really good. I don't like the heat of Florida, so it feels good to be here. Yeah. Where was I? I'm just going to talk about Michigan the whole time. Oh, you can also look into B corporations if you want to support more companies that are really doing a good thing. Look into B corporations. It's basically, B Corp is a separate nonprofit that creates this standard for businesses, for-profit businesses, to abide by. And so they can get certified, they can get B Corp certified, and they have these certain strict protocols that they have to follow as far as sustainability and sourcing and whatnot. So pretty cool. So yeah, certain B Corps that you may know of, Ben and Jerry's, they've always been a pretty cool environmental type company. Kickstarter, New Belgium Brewing, Warby Parker, they make glasses, and then Patagonia is a B Corp. For you outdoor enthusiasts, Cotopaxi is also a B Corp too. Yeah, there's a lot more I'm probably missing, but those are some big ones that are just real quick to name. Yeah, so check that out. I'll link that below too. You can kind of look at their directory and find out what companies you may like and what might work for you. Yeah, the company, at the end of the day, it has to fit and it has to add value to your life, right? You can't just pick a company that is sustainable and does all the good things if it doesn't work for you, right? I mean, that's the whole point of buying stuff and things, is to enhance our experiences and contribute and add value to our life, right? And if that's not doing it, then why buy it, right? So a good example for me, sadly, is I love how Patagonia does things. They're really pushing a lot of movements and whatnot. And honestly, I would, I always try and donate to certain campaigns that they run, but their clothes just don't fit me, and so I don't, I really don't have any Patagonia stuff to wear, just because it just doesn't fit me, and I can't just buy a thing just because I like the company and then not really enjoy the product for myself. I'm just a tall and lanky guy, and so it doesn't really fit me too well. Some things do. I've had some of their stuff, but yeah, so that's a bummer. I do use some of their hard good gear, like their packs and their technical accessory stuff and whatnot, and so that stuff's great. I love it. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I don't really have a lot of Patagonia stuff, but it's one of my favorite companies. Weird. So yeah, the company has to work for you. It has to add value to your life. You can't, like I said, I already said all this. I'm not going to repeat myself. And yeah, I mean, so basically, just to summarize, make sure companies are deserving of your money. Our money is valuable, and it has a lot of impact. As you noticed, reading the blog and podcast, our money is a way to vote every single time we use it. And so the next time we are going to the store to buy some basic shirts, they may be super cheap, right? But look into the company that makes them. How are they handling things environmentally, socially? How are they handling their workers and whatnot? And so, we might find that we may pay a little bit more for a shirt, but is it worth it to know that our money is going to a better place, right? So, I mean, a good example for just like basic stuff, basic tees and stuff is Everlane. That it's kind of fast fashion-y, I'm not gonna lie, but they're seemingly pretty sustainable. They got a pretty good rating on this, and they seem like they're doing some good things, but they are kind of fast fashion-y. They're not, they're kind of making basic things at a very cost-effective level. So that's good because a lot of people don't like to pay so much more for these sustainable brands, and so Everlane is a good example of affordable, sustainable brand. It's tough though, because it's not often that you get a sustainable, cheap, quality product. It's usually pick two, right? So you can get a quality, sustainable product, but it's not going to be cheap. If you get a quality, cheap product, it's not going to be sustainable. So yeah, it's kind of pick two usually. Everlane, you get a sustainable product, pretty affordable. The quality is, well, it's definitely down, and it creates a fast fashion mindset. So that's a good example though. But yeah, so pick what's in line with you. Go and see if the current brands that you're supporting are doing enough, right? Let's get rid of the clutter in our lives to make room for that good stuff. Those experiences, right? So yeah, clutter, consumerism, and then focus on the brands we're supporting. I hope this helped out. And if you have any questions or ever need any help on brands or asking me what I think or need any more resources, please feel free to reach out, send me a message on whatever I'm on. Facebook, email, Instagram. Yeah, I'll check all that stuff. So just send me a message. I'm happy to help. To go over a little bit of a few updates on We All Can Change, I created a donate page. So it will allow for my listeners and my readers to donate any amount of money they want to show that they've gotten value from my work. Yeah, it'll allow me to keep everything advertisement free, because I got to pay the bills somehow, and I don't want to pay the bills with advertisements. So I'd much rather, ask for some assistance from my listeners and my readers. You can choose to pay for something like a cup of coffee or a tea. I drink more tea than coffee, so I always try and say, buy me a cup of tea if you'd like. But hey, I really appreciate the opportunity to serve all of you, and it just nothing makes me feel better than contributing to people's lives and also to the planet. So thank you so much. Check that donate page out. As little as $1 or price of a meal. You can do a monthly or just a one-time donation. It's up to you. And hey, if you can't afford it, don't sweat it at all. I mean, just if you want to support me, just share things around. Tell people about it. Just get the word across. That's all I need. Yeah, don't put it on your credit card. Don't go in debt because of me. I'll be just fine. A little bit more. I'm on Spotify. Let's see. Probably Stitcher now. What else am I on? I'm on a couple more platforms for my podcast. I'm on TuneIn. I've never used TuneIn, but heard people use it, so I threw it on there. I'm trying to get on basically any platform that people listen to podcasts. So it's trickling in slowly but surely. I'm definitely on Spotify. I will post a link below to that. I guess this will be going out onto those platforms. So if you're on a platform, great, a new one. I mean, if you're off of SoundCloud, I started all this on SoundCloud, but we're moving up in the world. I'm rolling with the big dogs now. So cool. Hey, if you can't find the podcast, reach out to me and I'll either say, hey, I didn't even know that website existed. Let me get that podcast on there, or I can let you know when that episode, when that podcast show is getting on there. So cool. Yeah, check it out. I'm on Spotify for sure. I'm in the process of getting on iTunes podcast, but something's going on weird. I don't know, tech stuff. So it's trickling in. Yeah, hopefully everything will be settled by next week. So yeah, I've been neck deep in all that stuff. Crazy. Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it around. You can also donate to the We All Can Change page now. That'll be on the website. I'll link it below. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your support. Also, if you're looking to stay updated on when new episodes or blog posts come out, you can sign up for a weekly update on what's new. It's kind of like a Sunday newspaper, or it's like Sunday church, or it's just like a regular email. Yeah, cool. Just one email a week, no clutter, not ever. I'm not going to be bombing up your email unless you ask me to, unless you're like, Aaron, just send me all the things. Get it all over there. And so, yeah, no clutter, just one email per week. Yeah, you can head over to weallcanchange.com and enter your email at the top of any page. Hey, thank you so much again. And it feels a little bit weird at first to ask for donations and everything, but I guess that's business. And I'd much rather add value to your life and then have you express that value than just like bombard you with a bunch of advertisements. Yeah. So thank you so much again. I'm very honored and grateful.